So I grapple a lot with labels. I suppose I'm an atheist, which I suppose means, don't quote me on any of this stuff, but my point is going to be, it really doesn't matter, right? Because what I don't believe that anybody on this earth has defined God enough to make a religion out of him or anything like that. I don't. I'm agnostic in the fact that I believe there's a higher, I'm not going to say purpose, state of being that's beyond what we can observe yet. And as far as science goes, I'm all in for it. I want to know. I want to know if there is that thing. See, I'm okay with whatever the result is, because all of my beliefs right now are just based on what I've learned about science and stuff. And so as long as there's room for an afterlife, then I'm going to create one in my head. You know, and it's a religion in my own head that I'm willing to let it be altered by the facts of science, you know. And if it gets whittled down to nothing, I guess I'm okay with that. But right now, there's still room. There's still room for me to believe that there's life after death. There's still room for me to believe that that I am going to continue in some way after this. But, you know, I'm okay with, but it's got to be, you know, and science, that's what science does. It seeks to prove itself wrong all the time. So, and that's the great thing about it. It's just, all it is looking for the truth. And, you know, so that's kind of the way I see God, and or whatever you want to call it. That's my point of view on. So I guess I am an atheist, but I still want to believe in an afterlife. So I'm not, you know, in a lot of ways I think I'm a naturalist, and no, an animist. Yeah, probably an animist. Because there's enough weird shit going on with quantum physics and black matter, dark matter, and dark energy, which are things that are all over the place in the universe, which we have no idea what it is. We just know that it's there. And so, you know, it's nice to have a little fantasy in my head about what could be, what, you know, but why not? But I'm not going to, and it's a good thing I'm not a scientist, because I would probably seek to, you know, I would have a bias already, you know. And I don't know, maybe some scientists already have biases about stuff, but you want to prove it. You want to prove it to be a truth, and not just wonder about it. See, that's the thing that I don't get about Christians. Why wouldn't you want to know how the Bible was made? Why wouldn't you want to know how this all began? And if you still have faith after that, man, then hey, that's great. But I couldn't. I can't. It points me the other way. I mean, when you really look into how it was all, you know, and these are historians that, so most of them were probably just excited about finding this holy stuff, and then oh crap, it's not, you know, I don't know, but you know, the whole notion of being sent to hell and all this stuff, I just can't. Nah, can't do it. Can't live with that. And you know, it's such a burden. It's such a burden, and it's so nice to be free of that, you know. And you know, just just because you lose your faith doesn't mean you lose everything you believe in, as far as like a what the way you think that life ought to be, right? There's a lot of atheists that are pro-life. That doesn't, it has nothing to do with their faith. That's just the way they think it ought to be. They're pro-lifers, but they're not Christians. That doesn't change. In fact, I was seeing this interview on this woman that got, she was a huge pro-lifer, but she lost her faith. And it really bothered her that all her pro-lifer friends ostracized her now after she declared that she wasn't a Christian anymore. But she's the one that started this organization or something like that. I forgot, not the whole. It was a certain organization, or maybe a chapter. I don't know, but it was a big deal to her that they. But anyway, that doesn't. But she's still a pro-lifer, regardless of her non-belief in a God. So what I'm saying is, your morals don't. I still believe in the Christian way of treating people, but it's not. But see, what's happened is I realize it's not the Christian way. It's just the way that the world has figured out, and it's the way I want to treat people. I don't know why I don't do things because people. I'm not nice to people because I was told to. Ever. So I don't understand why it had to be written down. Maybe at some point the Bible was useful because people didn't have any morals to the point where you had to write stuff down. I don't know. It was what age was it? It was back then. But it's not relevant now at all. Make your own decisions. Be a pro-lifer. Be whatever. But don't let the Stone Age stuff dictate your life anymore. It's I don't understand it anymore. I don't understand the appeal anymore. And I was into it. I get it, but I don't now. It's like I don't know. I wish I could be and I realize I just think that this faith is ruining the United States, if not the world. All the stuff it's endorsed over the years, where you could overlook it a little bit. Manifest destiny, come on. That is not a good thing. But it literally means, I don't really actually know what it literally means, but it means, this is what God wants. Something like that. That's a sick thing, man. Just to annihilate somebody else's culture. They deliberately went after the Indians. They didn't all just die of other diseases that we brought to them. We destroyed their culture. We took kids away from mothers and put them and taught them how to be white and changed their name. We did that up until, for a long time. We destroyed their culture. You know, that is called, it's almost it's societal genocide or something like that. It's just an awful thing to do. We did that in the name of God, because they weren't Christians. They were barbaric. What is this? Why are we acting on things that were written 2,000 plus years ago? 2,000 years ago, and then the other stuff, even more barbaric. I'm not saying we all read Asimov, but we'd get a lot more out of it. Yeah, we would. Come on. Every decision, it weighs every decision when you're in that, or your indecision, and that's a pretty heavy one too, because there's a lot of Christians just not doing anything because they're afraid to find the truth. You know, they're limiting themselves. DeGrasse Tyson talks about how Isaac Newton hit a wall because his faith said no. Tyson even kind of implies that maybe Newton could have even gone as far as developing either quantum physics or the theory of relativity or something like that, if he would have, which would have made him doubt his faith. You know, it scared him. Whatever it was, he just stopped. Because what he was figuring out how the friggin' solar system works, a whole solar system, way back then. All these laws that are just truths, really. They're just laws that nature has. This guy's just figuring them out, you know. And he gets to a point where he's just like, dare I? He couldn't do it. Either thought that it would be dangerous or just thought it just kind of drive him crazy. And maybe it did. I don't know. Evidently, he was a pretty unpopular and deservingly so person. He was probably, I think he was kind of a jerk. But, you know, when you're that smart, you probably just think that you're with a bunch of ants. So, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just really believe that there's a much better, and I know that I always go to space. Me and my wife, and she goes more into social freedom. And yeah, but the freedom to explore thoughts, the freedom to say, I can't look at this because it's what they believe. Who's they? They seems to be everybody but you guys. And what I don't get is just, why don't you just step back and look at your religion? How many branches? I mean, it's like a family tree or something that just skewed into so many. I mean, you're living your life from a book. There is so much out there. And I'm not saying don't keep. Your morals are not going to change, okay? You're still going to love your husband. You're still going to whatever. I mean, it's just. I mean, it could mess up a relationship if both of them don't. I mean, it's just. I don't know what to do about people that they just really built their lives around this stuff, because it's got to be tough to maintain that bubble, man. And I really feel bad for those people, because the truth is just the truth, man. And it seeps into every once in a while, and it causes conflict with this distorted Bible that's already in conflict with itself. I mean, it's no wonder people are just confused all the time. They don't believe, and it's hard for them to. They believe the fantastic, so they can't believe in the other thing. And it limits us. If we know anything, the universe itself evolves. And I'm not saying we forget everything that we've had in the past. I mean, good Lord, if there's a reason why we need to have a conservative party and a progressive party. Because if you just keep rolling too fast, there has to be some people putting on the brakes every once in a while. It has to be like that. I do not get what's going on now. This is just like, this is not holding on to the past. This is like a complete change. Why are we doing this? And I gotta say, it's religion. Religion is steamrolling this thing, and they believe that Trump is the one. They're just desperate for somebody, and that's exactly what happened. Religion is dangerous, man. It is dangerous. And in the Bible, what you've got are kings wanting to be kings, wanting to be kings, wanting to be kings. If this nation reverts to what the way the Bible was written, then there's going to be a tyrant. Because that's what all those other kings were. They were friggin' tyrants. King David? Yeah, well, come on. Solomon? And those are the great ones. Read the Old Testament, man. These guys were not nice. Not at all. Genocide. Let's wipe these people out. Let's do it in a horrible way. I won't even say it because it's disgusting. Read it in the Bible, man. In Kings and Samuel and Judges. Just start reading through the Bible. I don't know. Google horrific stuff in the Bible. It won't be hard to find. Just start trying. You'll find it. And it won't be out of context. And honestly, read it in context. Read the whole book. It'll disgust you. That's the model we're supposed to be living by. Sometimes God himself does that stuff. Like he himself. Well, I mean, he did it to the Egyptians. Why did he do that? Why does he have to do that stuff? Why? Do you really have to? Really? Is there no other way? Is there no other way? He hardened Pharaoh's heart just so he could do the plagues, right? He almost had, Moses almost had him, and then all of a sudden he was like, nope. He hardened Pharaoh's heart, and then all hell was broke loose. Kids are going to die, and blood and shit and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know in what order. In fact, it doesn't matter. It's stupid. I'm sick of this shit. And I'm sick of people defending Christianity like it's something. It's nothing. You might as well just have a trinket. I mean, you might as well be defending a trinket. You might as well get a Pez dispenser and pray to that thing and let it guide you through your whole life. Because at least that Pez dispenser doesn't have murder and chaos written down in a book defending every evil thing that anybody could ever do. And then saying it's God's will. This Pez dispenser will either look at you in judgment or in joy, depending on your day. That's all it has to offer. Be careful of what you believe. Look at the roots, not just the glossy good stuff that people quote on, put them on calendars and stuff. Well, imagine if we made a calendar of all the horrific things that are in the Old Testament. You know, January, slaughter, slaughter, slaughter. February, slaughter, slaughter, slaughter. You know, this is the one. Okay, you know, you get to April and it's King David. You know, glory be. That's the truth. That's it in there, man. We just don't read it. Ugh. It's disgusting. I'm repelled. Repelled? Am I repelled? I don't know. I don't know.